Okay, guys, welcome. Today we are doing a top five jungle thing. I did have one already done before OB15, but I think it actually has changed quite a bit. I think I had a few gods in spaces that I don't think I have them anymore, because of the slight changes in nerfs and everything else like that to the anti-heal and the healing that they got in their kit as well. But we'll start off right off the bat. We'll start off with our honorable mentions. So we do 1 to 5. We're gonna start at 5 and go 2-1. Pretty straightforward. But I'm going to start off with an honorable mention, and it is going to be Nemesis, wherever I can find her. Nemesis. So I had a tough time with this. So I think 5 and 6 are interchangeable, guys. That's my own personal opinion. I think they're interchangeable. I think Nemesis is very, very strong, and I think Hun Batz is very, very strong. That's why I'm saying they both kind of do the same thing. But you have to put 1 at 5 and 1 at 6. So if I was to create a build for her, I would be going ability personally in the jungle. You can also play her in solo, just so you guys are aware, but we're mainly talking about jungle here. So we're starting off with Bum's Cudgel, right? And then I do the 2 potions with a mixed potion. Now, you can alternate this mixed potion for a ward if you guys choose to. It is totally up to you. And the blink or beads is totally up to you. So I would go blink if you notice their team does not have a lot of CC. However, if you notice their team has a lot of CC, maybe even consider going into a beads, just because you want to be able to like get out of situations. Just on the offhands, you never really know. So our finishes off with Bumba's Cudgel. Now I start off. This is where it's kind of weird, but I do start off with some items that are a little bit differently. That's attack speed. I need strength. Whoopsies. So I either start off with a pendulum or a hydras. I think both are very optional. Both are very good. I do think if you start off with pendulum, so I'm just going to put hydra's pendulum here. If you start off with a pendulum, you do lack on the mana a bit, because if you're constantly using abilities and you're actually activating the active of pendulum, you get a second ability, so you are blowing through your mana quite a bit, and that's where hydras come in. So sometimes I do think hydras before your pendulum. Pretty straightforward. And then I think going into a crusher is pretty much standard. And then you go from there into a heart seeker, and then a heart seeker into a Titan's Bane, wherever the big hammer thing is. I can't find it right now. There it is. So Titan's Bane. Those are pretty much your first 5 core items for basically everybody nowadays that's building ability. I don't think there's really much of a difference there. The only thing I would argue is maybe shifting these down and throwing an Oathsworn Spear. So if you did Oathsworn Spear here, Heartseeker, Titan's Bane. This is kind of the build that I like to go. I think it's very, very good. You can also swap the Oathsworn into even like the first or second item here, but I would not be doing that with Nemesis. I think the only god I would ever switch to the first would be Susano. But that's my own personal opinion. So again, this is kind of like the build that I was thinking for your top 6. So this is Nemesis, pretty straightforward. She's got good abilities, and that's the build I would use. Number 5 is, like I said, the next one. So it's Hun Batz. I think these two are basically tied. You can play Aspect or non-Aspect Hun Batz. I think they're both equally good. Non-Aspect is basically you're just going for all that damage. The high, you're hitting those infused strikes and stuff. The Aspect is really, really handy because the infused strike slows gods, and the 2, your smash, overhead smash stuns god, which is very, very valuable in a game like this. I think basically that kind of just puts them out. Like I don't really think like, so you have this ability with, this is your overhand smash right here, and then this is your infused strike. So I think Hun Batz is very, very strong. You can go both. I think the build is basically very, very similar. You have your cudgel. If you're going ability, which I don't see why you would ever go ability, it's the same thing. Blink or beads, depending on which one's CC or which one's not, you're finding. And then the build's exactly the same. So you have Hydras, Pendulum, Crusher, Heartseeker, and Titan's Bane. Now, I don't, as you guys notice, I do not build Oathsworn Spear on him. You can build Oathsworn Spear on him. I totally leave it up to you guys. The last item is really whatever you guys feel that you guys really need in the moment. So sometimes I've built Erendite, sometimes I've built Barbed Carver. These are all decent items. They're not bad items, but like I said, you can build avatars or Oathsworn. You can build. There's so many items. If you're finding that maybe you don't want to build Oathsworn or this, and you're finding that maybe I'm not going to get quite a bit of CC, you can also go into a Magi's Cloak, which is where is it? Right here. Still gives that CC, that crowd control immunity, so it's also very good. You know what? It's totally up to you guys, but I let you guys figure out that last item for yourselves. I just think that's a very, very strong build. I think for me, I'm just gonna throw in Oathsworn, just because of the amount of strength that it does give. So this is kind of what it looked like. Like I said, this is very situational. You can put a Magi's here. You can put literally any other item in avatars. You can put a magical defensive item. But that's Hun Batz. That's number 5. I don't think there's anything fancy about him. Number 4. He's kind of gone down in a few slots, but where is he? Susano. I think he's number 4, a clear winner of number 4 too, actually. And the only reason I say he's a clear winner at number 4 is because the other 3 gods that are after him, I think, are all OPS tier gods. And unfortunately, I don't think Susano quite fits into that S tier quite yet. So as you guys can see, Susano is all about his passive, right? 1 stack, you have reduced strength. 2 stacks, the enemies are slowed. 3 strengths, they take increased damage, right? So you want to build around that. Now he is the one god that if you go into a god builder, here we'll go into the god builder. Again, you're going ability, beads or blink, totally up to you guys. This is the one god that I will sometimes build Oathsworn Spear first. If you don't build Oathsworn Spear first, you're going into the same combo. So sometimes I'd build this first. I'm not saying this is an absolute necessity, but I think if you're going to be an aggressive Susano in their faces, I think it's very beneficial to go into an Oathsworn Spear first. Into a Hydra's, into a Pendulum, into a Crusher. Then you have your Heartseeker and your Titansbane. Like the builds are very boring, very bland. But it's just unfortunately that's how it works with strength-based gods right now. These items are just cracked. I think you can switch out Pendulum for where is it? An early Erendite, which I can't even find right off the top of my head. It's still very strong. Even Avenging Blade is quite strong right now. But I totally leave that up to you guys. I think Pendulum Blade is just too good not to have. So this is kind of like the build. You're your Bumbas, your Oathsworn. Like I said, you can swap the Oathsworn into the 3rd slot, go Hydra's, Pendra's, Oathsworn, and then Crusher, or even Hydra's, Pendulum, Crusher, and then Oathsworn into Heartseeker and Titan's Bane. But it's totally up to how you guys play. If you're playing aggressive, get that Oathsworn online. It gives you lots of strength, and it does help with it. It helps them get rid of their physical protection, so you guys do more damage. That is Susano. Number 3. I'm not sure if this is going to be a surprise to anybody, and I had a tough time ranking her. I think, maybe I even go above him. I think I'm gonna have to switch it. So normally I had Aladdin at 2 and Pele at 3, but I think Aladdin may be 3. I think so. So as you guys know, Aladdin's been nerfed up and down at left, right, and center. His intelligence has been touched. His strength has been touched. All of that fun stuff. However, I think Aladdin's strength is exceptionally strong right now in the jungle, and I think his kit just allows you to be able to maneuver very, very well. So you guys don't have to worry about a whole lot of stuff like that. But yeah, so we'll go into his build right now. Sorry about that, guys. Aladdin, if you're building strength in the jungle, actually, I think if you don't, you build it anyways in the jungle. I think this is what you're doing. You guys go Bumba's Cudgel. Plain simple. Into a blink. I think you can go beads on him too. Pretty straightforward. And then the same start. 2 potions, 3 potions. You can also build a. I've been forgetting the axe. Every single time I've been forgetting the axe. So strength, you start with an axe. Pretty straightforward. Then you go to this. Now your first item is pretty straightforward. You're going to the exact same build as everybody else. There is literally no difference in the builds when you're building this guy. If you're building strength, this is kind of what you want. Crusher, Heartseeker, Titansbane, and then the last item I leave entirely up to you. So your last item can be Transcendence. It can be Oathsworn. It can be Barbed Carver. It can be literally any strength item that you're finding. Avenging Blade, if you want to build that. You can be Brawlers. It can be there's so many items you can build on this guy. Once you get these first 5 items in line, I feel like you're basically 100 to 0ing everybody. You can go an intelligence-based build on Aladdin. I don't think it's as strong as the strength build right now. But you basically just want to stick with your whole intelligence thing as well, the same kind of concept. So if you're going intelligence, you still go Bumba's Cudgel if you're going in the jungle. It's just you will start with, in my opinion, you're going to Doom Orb, Spear of Deso, Chronos Pendant. Um, sorry. And then Polly. And where is it? So you have Ratatouille. And then the last item could be Obshard. So this is kind of like what you kind of would see, and obviously you wouldn't be buying this, you'd be buying the gem. Where is it? Gem. But this would be kind of like what you'd look like for an intelligence build. That is Aladdin, and he's 3. Number 2, Pele. I think Pele's overpowered as hell. Her CC and everything like that, she basically is just overpowered. Her build can kind of go multiple different directions. I will just put a pretty generic build here. In this thing, you can go lifesteal on her with Reaper. I think she's very, very good with Reaper. You can go into your Hydra's build, which I also think is very, 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 very strong. And then you can kind of even go hybrid build in her in the jungle. We want Bumba's hammer here. We got strength items, so we have your basic build, your Hydras, Pendulum, Crusher, Heartseeker, Titan's Bane. Like I said, pretty standardized items. And then Oathsworn, pretty standardized build. Or you can go even into other items. So you can go into a Barbed Carver. You can go into Bloodforge. You can go into Reaper. Reaper is very, very strong on her. Like you can start with a Reaper and go into a Hydra's. Something like this instead. Crusher, where's Crusher? And then Heartseeker. No Oathsworn Spear, drop that for the Titan's Bane. This could be another build. Very, very strong. I think aspect or non-aspect, it's basically the same thing. I think they're both very, very strong. I don't think there's any which way that you guys could ever tell me that they're not strong. I think she's top 2 jungler right now. And the only reason I think she loses out, she might even be top 1 in some people's minds, but I think the reason she loses is because of this one. Not jungle. Ullr. Ullr's just broken. His abilities are so easy to use. You know, the passive basically, if you're in one form, it reduces the cooldowns on the other stances forms. So you got your arrows, which do hurt. You got your stun in your axe form. You got your lifesteal and your attack speed. Like this dude is just, if you can hit his abilities, he is just cracked. And then I'll put his build up just for fun, just because I think you guys already probably know it, but it's literally the same build. So we want a bunch of potions, and then the axe form. And then you have your Bumba's Cudgel. Wait, did I put the right one? I did. Nice. Okay, good. And him is literally the same thing. It's Hydras into Pendulum. You can switch out the Pendulum for a different item order if you want. Oh my crap. Heartseeker. There we go. Titan's Bane. And the last item is, I think, up to you guys as well. So I usually build Oathsworn Spear. Recently, that's what I've always done. It doesn't mean you have to. Sometimes you can even go into a Jotuns recently. Jotuns is very good too. Exy if you want some little bit of attack speed. Oathsworn Spear, Tearfang, Erendite, maybe not Tearfang actually, Erendite, like Avenging Blade, all of these items. I think the amount of damage that Ullr does is absurd. He's able to kill people once you get your Crusher online. Like your first 3 items, even with Heartseeker, you can 100 to 0 people. Any of the carries, the middles, or the jungles, any of the squishies. Even solos, like the amount of like easy skill rotations with your stunts if you can hit your abilities. I think he's cracked. But yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed these top 5. I hope I was as in-depth as I possibly could. I am a little bit rushed here. Sorry, I didn't mean to be rushed, but I am a little bit rushed. I'm trying to be as in-depth as I possibly can, but those are your top 5. So you have your 5, which is Hun Batz or Nem. Honorable mention is Nem. You have your 4, which is Susano, your 3, Aladdin, 2, Pele, and your 1 is Ullr. If you guys have any questions about those, please feel free to leave them in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next one, the next one, the next one, and the next one, and those will be the next top 5s. I'll see you guys in the next ones. Peace.